everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mallory Mayer, an American military wife living in Germany. Today we are going to be talking about really two questions. Can you work while stationed in Germany, and should you work? These are really important questions for spouses of service members to ponder, because wherever you go, you know that one of the top things on your mind is, can I get a job? Where can I work? Questions are especially important to ponder when coming to Germany. Can you work is a little more practical. If you can't work, then should you work has no relevance. And then should you work is a little more philosophical and just depends on circumstances and who you are as a person. Remember to hit the red subscribe button down below so that you don't miss any more of these videos on what life is like in Germany as a military spouse. So I'm going to give you the various options that are available to military spouses when you move to Germany. I don't claim to know every single detail about this area, but I'm speaking from my personal experience, and at the end I will tell you what I personally have chosen to do. But really, I hope this video helps you to make the best decision for you and your family. All right, let's address the first question of, can you work while stationed in Germany? The short, simplistic answer is theoretically yes, you can work while you're living in Germany. However, it goes into much more detail than that. If it was just that simple, I wouldn't need to be making a video about it. There may be some obstacles and downsides that you may run into, including simply not being able to procure a job or it not being worth your time. You may have guessed by now is that being stationed in Germany greatly limits your options as a spouse. For all practical purposes, the only way to get a job, a brick and mortar, 9 to 5, noon to 8, whatever, job, is to work on post or on base, okay? Unless you speak fluent German, you're not even going to want to look off post. I don't even really know if it's possible legally for a spouse to work off post anyway. If you are looking for a job on base, okay, usajobs.gov will be your best friend. That is where you can find all the federal job openings that are available on your base. Different bases will have different options. Some bases are very, very small and will have extremely limited options. If you have any type of college degree, you are probably going to be overqualified for some of these very basic jobs. On the other hand, say you have a specialized skill, like you're an RN or you're a public school teacher, that's great that you have those specialized skills. But the downside of being in Germany is that there actually has to be an opening for something like that. And it can be kind of tough to come by. Remember when you're job searching that as a military spouse, you do have mil spouse preference, okay? So make sure they have a symbol on there on the USA Jobs site where it says military spouse preference. Something super important, I can't stress this enough. I learned this at a military spouse conference I went to a few months ago down in Bavaria, and it's this, and nobody had ever told me this before, and my husband didn't even know. If you take a GS job, let's say you come to Germany and you're like, I really want a job and I just want any job, but let's say you have some kind of specialty thing. You have some kind of special skill that you would take a job if you could find one like that, but you just want a job. So you settle for a GS 5 job, which is pretty low on the pay scale. And then say you take that job, and then when you move back to the States, you want to continue in the federal system, but you want to get a job that uses your particular skill. In your particular skill, you are qualified to work at a GS 12 job. Well, unless you have direct hire, okay, unless it's a direct hire position, you are not able to jump from GS 5, or maybe you worked up to GS 6. You can't jump from GS 6 to GS 12. You have to go in order, all the steps. So keep that in mind if you are ever thinking about working in the federal system with a specialized skill. in the GS system, okay? Very, very important. There's another option of working, and that is from home. So there's a couple ways you could do this. You could work remotely with a company. Maybe you were already working with a company and you asked to see if you could do a telecommute job, a remote job, and they said, yes, great. You can continue your job when you move here. Or maybe you want to start or already have a home-based business. So that would be something like a direct marketing company, you have an Etsy shop, you do hair, you do babysitting, you do dog sitting, something like that where you are self-employed. This is an option that a lot of spouses choose. However, there is a lot of red tape, and I will do a video on the HBB process of getting registered. It's way easier if you have a home-based business that is either selling digital products or services, or if you're part of a direct marketing company where their products are sent directly from the company and they're not coming from you. Okay, so that's some of the nitty-gritty of can you work in Germany? Yes, you can work. There's several options. But now we have the more philosophical question of should you work? The short answer is it depends. It depends on you. You have to think about if you would want to work a brick and mortar job on post. Do you want to work a home-based business or a remote job, or not work at all? How much do you want to travel? That's a huge question to ask yourself. Do you have kids and do you want to pay for childcare? Is it worth your time? If you get one of these really low paying jobs on post, would it even be worth your time after you pay taxes and pay for childcare? I'm gonna go deeper into the whole travel thing because that is huge. We're living in Europe and you have to take advantage of it. The downsides, if you take a brick and mortar job on post, the downside to travel is that it will most likely restrict your flexibility on traveling. Just because your soldier, your service member gets a 4-day weekend, and they do get a 4-day weekend every month, just because he has that does not mean that your job, even if it's federal, will have that. So your service member may get a 4-day weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, but you may have to work. So if you want to travel, you may have to take vacation time or unpaid leave. The upside is depending on your situation, depending on your spouse's rank, if you had to downsize from 2 incomes in the US to 1 income over here, if you have kids, whatever, an upside is that you will have a little more income to spend on travel. So you won't be as flexible with when you can travel, but you will have more money with which to travel, if that makes sense. But let's go to the home-based business side. Should you do a home-based business? It depends, again, on you. It depends on your self-motivation, if you want to deal with all the German taxes and the red tape of getting approved. And then plus a downside is that you may, if you're just starting your business, you may not make very much money, if any, the first few years anyway. So essentially it'll be a hobby. The upside is that you can travel whenever, theoretically. You can take your business with you if it's online, or you can make your own hours. So you can travel pretty much whenever you want. And the same thing goes with if you choose not to work at all, you can travel whenever you want, whenever there's a 4-day. You can travel without your spouse if you want. You can go on girls' trips. You know, especially if you don't have kids, you really will have a ton of flexibility. The downside to that is if you're like me, you'll get very restless. You'll want to eventually be busy. And if you're not working at all, it can be easier to isolate yourself. It's easy to isolate yourself anyway. But if you're not doing that, you may feel very isolated. All right, so now that I've given you all those options, I'm gonna tell you quickly what I chose to do. I was not attracted to working on post for several reasons. I thought about it just so that I would have a job, but after my husband and I really talked about it, we decided that I would stay home and pursue my home-based business and really put effort into that because we see the long-term potential of having your own business, and the income potential for that will pay more dividends down the line, more so than working a 9-to-5 job at the commissary. We also have never been a dual income couple. I've been in school for almost our whole marriage. I started nursing school prerequisites maybe almost 6 months into our marriage. So I've never had an actual job while married. I've had my little side business with doTERRA essential oils, but never actually had a legit two income household. So it wasn't a hardship for us coming over here to just have my husband being the one bringing in significant income. Well, I hope that is helpful. With a lot of things, ultimately, this is up to you. It's up to what you want to spend your time on and what your personality is and what is best for you and your family. What I suggest doing is to make a list of the pros and cons of everything that you're considering, or even of all the options: working on base, doing a home-based business, not working at all, doing remote work. And also remember that you can change your mind. Maybe you decide, I just want to stay home, I don't want to work, and then maybe 6 months in, you're like, I'm going crazy, I need a job. And you can go look for a job. Maybe it'll be the other way around, where you get a job right away and then you're like, I hate this. And if there's no contract, then you can just quit. So leave a comment below on what your thoughts are if you're moving to Germany, and if you are contemplating working or not, and any questions you might have about this area. I'd be happy to answer as I can, and I can point you towards resources if I don't have the answer. Thank you for stopping by once again and checking this video out. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up so that I know that you enjoyed it, and make sure to hit the red subscribe button so that you don't miss any more of these episodes about life in Germany as a military spouse. So until next time, leave your comments and I will talk to you soon.